Remember that skull and crossbones flag cutting through the cosmos? Captain Harlock wasn't just another anime. This rebellious space opera defined what it meant to sail against the stars.
You already know what we've got on our shuttle from your scan.
Today we're counting down 10 wild facts you never knew about the pirate who fought for a planet that had already given up. Let's raise the Jolly Roger and dive in.
There's a battleship at distance 345.
Number 10. The ship that wouldn't die. Ever wonder why the Arcadia felt alive? Turns out it literally was. The starship's central computer housed the consciousness of Tochiro Oyama, Harlock's best friend and the genius who built her. Just before death claimed him, Tochiro uploaded his mind into the ship's mainframe, becoming a ghost in the machine so he could sail alongside his captain forever.
Based on these factors, there is a 78% probability that the ship is headed for the third planet of the solar system, Earth.
This wasn't just some AI assistant running diagnostics and plotting hyperspace coordinates. The Arcadia had a soul, complete with Tochiro's loyalty, brilliance, and stubborn refusal to let his buddy fight alone. The ship didn't just respond to commands, it anticipated Harlock's needs because it knew him better than anyone. Next time you rewatch, remember, that's not just metal and circuits responding to Harlock's commands.
I don't know. It's big and black and looks dangerous to me. It's on a collision course with Earth.
Yep. Number 9. When your navigator has a rap sheet. Kei Yuki seemed like the cheerful heart of the crew, always ready with a smile and steady hands on the controls. But her origin story was pure outlaw legend, the kind of backstory that separates wannabes from real pirates.
That's right, the Rheingold. As you can see, the bandits have already come to Occlusion and annihilated it.
She joined the Arcadia as a prisoner being transported back to Earth after assaulting a military officer. Her crime? The officer had mocked her father's death, and Kei responded the only way a future pirate could, with her fists and zero regrets. Harlock raided that prison transport, took one look at her rebellious fire and that defiant glare, and knew he'd found his navigator. It's the perfect recruitment story for a crew of misfits who all had their reasons for rejecting Earth's comfortable lies.
Those bandits are now on their way here. The gold is here on planet Rhine.
The best pirates weren't born on pirate ships. They were forged by a system that pushed them overboard and expected them to drown quietly. Number 8. The Mazone's horrifying exit strategy. The Mazone looked like beautiful warrior women commanding impressive fleets across the galaxy, but their true nature was nightmare fuel wrapped in sci-fi brilliance. These invaders weren't flesh and blood. They were plant-based life forms with chlorophyll running through their veins instead of hemoglobin. But here's where it gets crazy and crosses into horror territory. When killed in combat, they didn't bleed out or collapse like you'd expect. They spontaneously combusted into paper-thin, flaming leaf remnants until nothing remained but ash drifting through space. Imagine watching that transformation in 1978, when most American cartoons featured villains who just ran away or got caught in nets. This wasn't your Saturday morning fare where everyone learned a lesson and went home for cookies. This was body horror masquerading as space opera, pushing boundaries that US networks weren't ready for. Number 7. The Girl, the Ocarina, and the Trap. 7-year-old Mayu Oyama was the emotional anchor of the entire series, and the villains knew exactly how to exploit it with ruthless efficiency.
Is there anyone in this world who can use this equipment? I doubt that a kid like you could handle it.
As the daughter of Harlock's deceased best friend, Tochiro, She lived in an Earth orphanage, clutching the ocarina Harlock had given her as a promise. That haunting melody she played became one of anime's most recognizable songs, instantly evoking the series' melancholy soul, but it also became a weapon in the hands of cunning enemies. The Mazone repeatedly used Mayu's music to lure Harlock into ambushes, banking on the one thing the fearless captain couldn't resist: protecting Tochiro's little girl no matter the cost. When you're older and understand what it means to honor the dead by protecting what they loved, you realize Harlock wasn't just fighting aliens, he was fighting to honor a promise to a dead friend, the kind of vow that matters more than survival itself.
Rheingold is the center of the universe, the essence of time itself which rules the entire universe.
Number 6. Earth's government chose golf over survival. The real horror of Harlock's universe wasn't the alien invasion or the plant women burning up in space. It was humanity's response to it all.
We cannot let him make that ring. We must stop him at all costs.
While a massive Mazone fleet approached Earth with obvious hostile intent, the planet's government and citizens were too busy with horse racing and golf to care about their impending extinction. We're talking about a society so drunk on entertainment and luxury that they actively ignored warnings about their own extinction, dismissing them as paranoid fantasies. Sound familiar? When young Tadashi Daiba's mother tried to alert authorities about the alien threat, they dismissed her completely, more concerned with their tea times and betting pools than survival of the species. This wasn't subtle social commentary tucked into the background. This was Leiji Matsumoto throwing a mirror at 1970s society and asking, "Is this who you want to be?" Harlock became the outlaw precisely because the civilized world had become too comfortable, too soft, too distracted to save itself from obvious danger. Sometimes the pirates are the only ones awake, while everyone else sleepwalks into oblivion. Number 5. The Gravity Saber. 2 weapons, 0 compromises. Harlock carried one of the most versatile and iconic weapons in anime history, and it became a signature of Matsumoto's entire Leijiverse across multiple series. The Gravity Saber functioned as both a precision laser rifle for long-range combat and a close combat blade for when enemies got personal, meaning our captain could fight at any range without ever being caught unprepared or fumbling for a secondary weapon. The rifle represented the cold efficiency of the future, calculated and distant, while the sword embodied the romantic, samurai-inspired honor code Harlock lived by, even in the 30th century. Even characters in Galaxy Express 999 wielded versions of this weapon, cementing its legendary status across multiple series and proving that some tools transcend their original stories.
It's a heavy armor battleship.
Current image is from 23 hours, 54 minutes ago.
Number 4. The Galleon that sailed the stars. The Arcadia's design was gloriously insane, and that was entirely the point. A middle finger to conventional spacecraft aesthetics. This wasn't just a battleship, it was a World War II warship welded to an old-fashioned wooden galleon stern, complete with ornate carvings that belonged in a museum, stained glass windows that had no business in space, and honest-to-God gas lanterns flickering in the void.
From now on, you are part of our family.
Thanks.
In a universe of sleek, sterile spacecraft that all looked like they came from the same boring factory, Harlock sailed something that looked like it belonged in the Caribbean circa 1720, hunting Spanish treasure ships. The anachronistic design wasn't a budget limitation or some weird artistic mistake. It was pure symbolism. While the rest of humanity embraced a sanitized, passionless future where everything was smooth and efficient and utterly soulless, Harlock clung to the romance and freedom of the pirate age. The Arcadia didn't just defy physics with its impossible construction. It defied the entire aesthetic of its era. And that's exactly why we loved it and still remember it decades later.
So you made the ring for him after all, and fate would have it that it would be you, the son of Dr. Taiba.
Number 3. The alcohol-powered alien who outdrank everyone. Mime remains one of the strangest and most beloved characters in the series, starting with her most obvious trait that you can't miss. She has no mouth.
I knew him a long time ago. It was before you were even born.
Yet somehow she speaks clearly, and somehow she drinks without any visible opening in her face. But here's the kicker that pushes her into legendary territory. Mime consumes alcohol not for fun or to unwind after a hard day of space piracy, but as her primary food source. Her alien biology converts booze into sustenance without any intoxicating effects whatsoever, meaning she could outdrink the entire crew while remaining perfectly sober and functional at her post.
I'm sorry, but I must return now to my own ship, the Queen Emeraldus. But if something happens, I'll be right back. You must have courage, Mime.
It's the kind of wild biological detail that makes you wonder what Matsumoto was thinking when he designed her, and whether he was conducting his own experiments at the time. Plus, she never had to worry about hangovers, blackouts, or any of those embarrassing morning-after moments. Talk about an evolutionary advantage.
If someone were to come to you with a gold ingot and were to ask that you make him a gold ring, I'd like you to refuse.
Number 2. France loved him more than Japan did. If you grew up in France or Quebec, you probably have no idea who Captain Harlock is, because you know him as Albatore, and that name means everything.
You'll have a lot of gold left over.
I said it must be forged. You compress it through cold forging.
French broadcasters worried that Harlock sounded too similar to Captain Haddock from Tintin, so they changed the name for their dub to avoid confusion and potential legal issues. What happened next was unprecedented in anime history. The series became a massive cultural phenomenon in France, arguably eclipsing its popularity in its home country of Japan. French kids grew up with Albatore the same way American kids grew up with Star Wars or Transformers, making him a generational touchstone.
He's long gone. You've been unconscious for 4 hours, kid.
Damn! And he didn't even pay me for the ring.
The name change was just the beginning. Even Mime became Cleo in French versions, creating an entirely alternate universe of nomenclature. It's a reminder that sometimes localization doesn't just translate, it creates entirely new legacies that take on lives of their own.
It's a soldier's gun.
Your father was part of our group.
Number 1. The Star of David scandal. This is where behind-the-scenes drama meets creative vision, and it got messy in ways that spilled into public interviews.
Picking up Captain Harlock, and they asked me if I could draw it. And I said, oh yeah, sure,
Director Rintaro planned to arm the Mazone villains with Star of David-shaped weapons, presumably as some kind of visual motif or symbolic choice whose meaning remains debated. Creator Leiji Matsumoto was not having it, not even a little bit.
I recommended Captain Harlock because by that time I was quite familiar with the character. I'd seen the show.
The conflict highlighted a broader tension between directors and creators in anime production. Who controls the vision when multiple artists collaborate on something this ambitious? For a series already dealing with themes of rebellion and authority, questioning who gets to make the rules, this real-world power struggle felt almost too fitting, like life imitating art. The weapons were modified before they made it into the final product, but the controversy lingered in fan circles and industry discussions, proving that even in fiction about space pirates defying governments, some battles are fought in conference rooms, not starships.
We're borrowing your sensor shuttle.
What about the shuttle you came in on?
We'll leave that on the ship. This way, if you try to leave us stranded here.
Bonus fact: the crew that chose to walk away. Most space operas end with triumphant reunions and celebration banquets where everyone hugs and promises to stay in touch forever. Harlock? Not even close to that comfortable fantasy.
Commander, do you think he'll really come?
Don't worry, sir. He'll come.
After defeating the Mazone invasion and saving the ungrateful Earth that had rejected them as criminals and outcasts, the crew of the Arcadia simply disbanded without fanfare or ceremony. Kay went on to captain her own pirate vessel, carving out her own legend among the stars. Others scattered to pursue their own paths, their own dreams that didn't involve living in anyone's shadow. And Harlock, the man who fought for a planet that rejected him and would never appreciate what he'd sacrificed, was left to wander the sea of stars with perhaps only Mime by his side for company. There was no parade, no medals pinned to chests, no tearful goodbye montage set to swelling music designed to make you cry. Just pirates doing what they always do, moving on when the job's done, because sentimentality is a luxury they can't afford. Harlock never wanted glory or recognition or statues in the town square. He wanted freedom, pure and simple. And in the end, freedom meant sailing alone into the infinite darkness, ready for whatever came next, with that skull and crossbones flag still flying defiantly behind him. From living starships powered by friendship beyond death, to plant-based villains who burned like autumn leaves in their final moments, Captain Harlock wasn't just ahead of its time, it was operating in a different dimension entirely, telling stories American networks couldn't handle. Until next time, keep your flag flying and your course set to the stars, no matter who tells you to lower it. This is the Arcadia, signing off.
I'll be your captain.